You're just jealous.
Jealous? Jealous? You don't even exist to me!
Hello my darlings, and welcome to an episode of Screen to Page, where I read books based on characters from my favorite movies. And today we're channeling Nancy Downs from The Craft. The Craft is about a new student who befriends 3 teenage girls from her high school who practice witchcraft against those who cross them. However, the consequences of joining the coven turn out to be disastrous. Now, Nancy energy is giving rage born from neglect, power discovered too fast, poverty and trauma mistaken for destiny, desire without containment, witchcraft as escalation, and what happens when no one intervenes. Books that would suit Nancy's energy are where female anger is real, justified and dangerous, power arrives without safety guards, and transformation outpaces healing. The book that I would recommend would be Slewfoot by Brom. It's about a woman who is accused of witchcraft and must ally herself with a dark and dangerous being to get her revenge. It's female fury reframed as monstrosity by those it threatens. The Nancy link is anger pushed into mythic proportions. The book I chose to read for this vlog is Carrie by Stephen King. It is about abuse, humiliation, and power erupting catastrophically. The Nancy link is that it is power that doesn't heal. It is mostly about a shy teenager named Carrie who has been bullied viciously by her peers and just wants to survive high school, and her terrifying religious mother. But she ends up having a superpower, and that superpower is telekinesis. And when it is paired with a lot of bottled up rage, it turns into a Molotov cocktail of horrific proportions. Things go very, very, very wrong when Carrie goes to prom. The main themes in this were bullying and social cruelty. We start the book with a scene in the girls' locker room where Carrie has gotten her first period, and I think she's 17 in the book, and she doesn't know what's happening to her, so she is terrified and thinks she's dying, and the girls are literally hurling feminine hygiene products at her and yelling nasty things, and this is the event that sort of kickstarts the crack in the glass before everything finally shatters. Religious repression and control is the next biggest theme, with Carrie's mother being an absolute religious zealot nut. So think constantly quoting scripture at her and beating her and punishing her for being a bad girl, when Mama herself got knocked up out of wedlock. So a lot of hypocrisy there. But Carrie's getting it from two sides, her mother at home and her peers at school. And this is paired with, for her, I guess, late onset puberty and shame. So, like I said, her menstruating was done publicly, and she was shamed for it by her peers. She was shamed for it by her mother. But it does end up being this awakening. So this was a lot about teenage girls, and they're trying to find some sort of power and agency, and what happens when trauma, because Carrie is absolutely traumatized, meets supernatural power and ability. So then we get the next theme of immense power without guidance, without someone to be there for Carrie and offer emotional support and to guide her through it. So she is just lashing out on her own. Sorry, my dad's texting about the stock market. She has no safe outlet to process any of things that are going on with her, or to talk about anything that's going on with her. No allies, no confidants, no friends. And so when she discovers that she finally has the power to hurt the people that have been hurting her, she absolutely spirals, and her power, in a way, ends up amplifying her trauma and pain rather than healing it. And so it's inevitable, the destruction that is caused when she just fully unleashes without restraint. I ended up giving this book a 3 stars. So I'm not a big fan of Stephen King's style of writing. We just don't get along that well. The book itself goes back and forth in time through interviews about the incident. So you're told in the beginning, oh, there was this tragic event, and they're interviewing people who knew Carrie or who some of the few survivors from the massacre. So I do find that structure of storytelling discombobulating, and it's not my favorite. It ruins the flow and the pace for me to be constantly brought back and forth. The biggest issue I have is normally with teenage girls being written by older men. I just don't like it. It ekes me out, especially when we're getting descriptions of the appearance of her nipples and her playing with her nipples, giving her pleasure. And we do also have on-page sex between teenagers and, like I said, descriptions of their non-adult bodies. And so that just makes me feel really icky. When it's written about by a man, I don't enjoy it. I think too, for me, the person I felt the most for was Tommy. Tommy was just an innocent civilian casualty. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he was doing something really nice and wonderful. But it's just a sad book because no one intervened to help Carrie before it was too late. If anyone had just done a simple fucking welfare check-in at some point, it could have all have been avoided. So it was just really sad and depressing that it had to come to this, essentially. But that was the book for Nancy Downs from The Craft. For my activity today, I'm going to do a tarot card reading. So I'm going to do a week ahead reading with some tarot cards, end up with an oracle card reading. So let's change view. Okay guys, so I somehow lost the audio. No audio recorded, and I am so freaking pissed. I did, in my opinion, a stellar reading, okay? And it's lost. So I'm just going to try and remember what I said. Yeah, this is going to be subpar, but basically, here we go. I got retribution. I was like, oh, fuck, that's full on. And it's very apt considering the book we read. So I decided to read from the oracle card first, and I've used it to center the reading. And now I'm pulling the other cards. So I got 8 of Cups, and then the Hierophant. I think I talked about the cards and the imagery, but guys, so let's just speed run this. So Retribution, the meaning of this card is she is Mara, Hecate, Kali Ma, and the Morrigan, gatherer of souls and destroyer of worlds. She is the reckoning to all men of war and deceit. Let them quake in their boots as she breaks their minds and wears their skulls as a crown on her sacred head. Have strong self-belief and call out injustice when you see it. Be careful not to allow righteous anger to become vindictive revenge. She is a promise, a vow to all the innocents. They will be avenged and life will be destroyed. So I was like, wow, okay, let me figure out how to do this reading. So I started off with the retribution, and I decided, okay, you know what? I don't think this is about the drama. This is about going to Carrie or Nancy lengths. I think it's more about consequence, values, and exit points. So I didn't go down the revenge energy path. I decided that it was just about being out of alignment and that there is a correction that is happening. So with 8 of Cups, it is the card of walking away. It's withdrawing emotionally. Not because you lost something. It is an intentional choice to leave something behind because it is no longer sustaining you. It is detaching. It is the decision to stop investing where the return is minimal or hollow. It's a conscious turning away, even if a part of you still feels attached, whether it's to a situation, a person, a circumstance. It's making the choice to walk away, Craig David style. And then we've got the Hierophant, which is generally about, can be about mentorship, which would make sense in the craft when the girl joins the witches. But it's also about your values, your belief system, traditions. But really in this reading, I think it's about what is right according to your inner code. And in this regard, it's the reason why you're choosing to walk away from something. It's because it's not aligned with your deeper principles. It's because you were trying to force yourself to adapt or to fit a situation or a person or whatever that wasn't right for you. And you need to stop trying to make fetch happen. I'm sorry. But essentially, yeah, whatever the situation is, it's not right for you, babes. It's not in alignment with who you are or who you want to be or who you are becoming. And forcing yourself to remain with something that isn't the right fit, you're going to be left with blisters. You're going to be left bleeding. And it's, even if there are emotional ties to this, the pain of staying outweighs the pain of leaving. So for me, retribution here, it's less about punishment. It's less about going scorched earth, motherfucker. And it's more about you deciding that you can no longer stay somewhere where your integrity and who you are don't match with what the current deal is. And it's telling you to walk away peacefully and calmly, okay? It's don't burn the bridges, don't, pour the gasoline and light a match. You don't need to have a reactionary exit. You don't need to leave from spite or guilt or payback. No, don't do any payback shit. Just leave from clarity. Do it cleanly. All right, walk away with your head held high with grace, and just understand you were choosing yourself by choosing to leave. It's about a misalignment that is now correcting itself, and your job is to respond with integrity and not with violent reaction. So you are choosing what aligns with you, even if it means walking away from something you tried really hard to make work. Like I said, could even be your own personality, all right, like your own set of beliefs and narrative and behavioral patterns, anything. This could be walking away from, anything, see whatever resonates. So for me, it was sort of a warning, not go down the Carrie and Nancy path, to leave while you still can, before you were so damaged and so traumatized that you would then lash out because of the pain and the hurt. So you're at the point where you can make a healthy, clean break. And now is the time to do so. I can't remember what else I said. Like I said, I was on fire with this. I was like, oh my God, I killed this. And it pains me. I actually wanted to hear my reading played back. It's different when you're in it. You don't really hear what you're saying. And I was looking forward. I was like, let me, listen to this reading, which I thought I nailed. And no sound, which has never happened. But yeah, I thought it was very apt, considering the retribution card to me does represent Carrie and Nancy. So I thought that was very fun. But that is now everything for this vlog. I've already finished the reading and I'm just watching the video, and there's like another 15 minutes. Clearly I did not remember everything that I said. I'm sorry, but what can I do? Nothing can be done. So I've just got to walk away. I'm going to leave it. It is what it is. Until next time, stay weird, Star Child.
We are the weirdos, mister.